There are others seeing this besides just me. They don't speak up, but there are other people seeing how much everybody plays the fucking telephone game, where they just gather up weird random shit out of context, think it's fucking real, don't go to the original source, don't talk to the original person, and just stack it up and build all this crazy shit. Like going in and watching the forums more, it's so, I don't want to say funny because it's actually kind of sad and scary, but how much people are just, it just looks like they're drinking bleach, just guzzling bleach, just running on the wood chipper. Like, hey, you're just grabbing random crazy shit out of context, don't understand, in a complete fear state, which is fine, we all go through that, but then like stacking worldviews, like, okay, so at night when you go home, you're gonna go like unpack that, right? You're gonna resolve that, right? You're gonna clean that out. You're gonna go back to the original source rather than just taking hearsay out of context and build on that, right? No, they don't. Like, I'm just watching people, like, by the masses in the community, it's like, oh, I have so much anxiety and depression. I'm like, what? You can't guzzle bleach 18 hours a day and then complain to me that you have a fucking stomach ache. This creates Winchester Mystery House brain. This creates Santa Claus bag of shit. And this is just everybody that you see in your fucking life. I know you can't see it in yourself, but you can see it in everybody else, that you can't talk to people, you can't work with people because they have so much stacked layers of shit. As soon as you're like, hey, let's just get to the basics, okay? We're all gonna end up at the same place, okay? Go look at all the heroes, look at all the people that are successful, look at all the people that have made it through hell 1,000 times worse than you, okay? They've all done it. They all go through the same kind of journey, the same. Come on, let's just race to the bottom. You gotta process your emotions. You gotta do the right thing. You gotta have discipline. Like, there's a list of things you gotta do that all the good people are doing. Oh yeah, well that doesn't pertain to my story. Like, oh, you're special? Yeah, well you don't even know what happened to my mom. It's like so many times the censor, it's my mom and my dog. Like, how many fucking times I've had to listen to hours of stories of my mom and my dog. Like, those two, like, really? So if we resolved your mom and your dog story, then you'd be on your way? It's like, well, you're not listening to me. No, I'm not. No, I'm fucking not. This is why the scientific method isn't just like some great idea. It's like your way out of hell. Like, what we are all doing, what the human brain is designed to do, is just grab anecdotes all day. It's a bias machine. It's a Donald Hoffman machine, and people are just along for a ride inside their body, which is why it's just this predictable fucking cycle. You got to get control of that. You got to get a hold of that. And one of the rungs to grab onto on the way down to the fucking pit is the ledge of the scientific method of going, all right. I just heard some crazy information. It's really scary. Oh my God, my body, it moved. Oh, whoa, my chemicals moved. Oh, I think that's true. Oh, my savers are fired up. This happens 50 times a day. Try and catch one. Try and know it's not real. Go through the process. Susan David, create a space. Experience your crazy train. Create a space. Don't react predictably. Create a space and be like, okay, that was scary. All right, well, what's the scientific method? Guess what? The scientific method, this is what sucks. It's not a default grunt in your fucking body waiting to go. Everyone's just going, well, this grunt didn't work. Let me jump to that grunt. Oh, that feels better. Grunt. Just bouncing on default programs. Scientific method. What is going on? What's true? Where to come from, etc. All right, there's a big pre-rant. So Woody Harrelson here. I like the guy, but it's funny to hear a good caught on camera version of like, dude, Woody, you're filling your brain with this much shit. Like, dude, come on, man. You're killing yourself here. So Woody, if he looks familiar, he is the same type as Tim Ferriss, which is why he's got kind of it's both like a weird look and a good looking look, right? See what I'm saying? Like, we went from a good looking to a little weird, kind of looks like a bad guy waiting to get you underneath the bridge. But also he's got the muscularity, the handsomeness, the Tim Ferriss-ness. This definitely looks like Tim Ferriss when he was younger. So that type we're talking about is an INTJ, play last, blast, sleep, consume, double masculine. So you get kind of a lot of factors there. I don't know aware of his social type. Doesn't seem to be a number one. Doesn't seem to be trying to like go out and crush everybody. Seems a little bit more dialed down, introverted. Just kind of talking it out, thinking about it. I would wonder if what I would look at is possibly a number 3. I know that number 3s, especially if they're IJs and introverted, the trap that they can fall into, and anybody can fall into this, is like, they're above me. The corporations are real. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you're Gary Vee, you're like, fuck them, and you just bust your way out. You're like, I'm going to just go do the responsibility myself. If you have responsibility as a demon, if you're a 3 or a 4, once you feel, and you're introverted, you feel like, oh man, I can't do anything about this. So I kind of feel that kind of energy from him, where he's very scared, the corporations, and like he's this little guy down here, and everything's happening up here, and he can't do anything, right? It also makes kind of sense because he's not the most friendliest guy in the world as well. So I definitely don't think he's a number 4. Usually the 4s, you get a lot of positivity, a lot of energy from the guys. This type, the blast, sleep, consume, last, especially the double masculine, there's a lot of the stress goes down into a dark hole. It's like any classic introvert, they really internalize and they stomach their stress. where the fucking extroverts are vomiting it out all over everybody, now getting them stressed. Let me go a little faster here. Let me play the clips. The first is just an intro, just kind of get warmed up. You're listening to two observers. The other guy is also a double masculine, and he's an ENFP.
I don't like profiteering in war. You know, think of the billions of dollars that have gone to big pharma. But I was getting back to my original point. The last people I would trust with my health is big pharma and big government, because neither one of those strike me as caring entities.
Spoken as the perfect redneck hippie.
Come on, ENFPs, you cannot not be funny. So you're going to listen to a classic observer rant with these two observers complaining about the government. Like this comes down to identity so fast. So all the observers out there, like, do you want to still be these guys? Like, as I play these clips, just the crazy, smoking, drunk fucking idiots complaining about the government. And if you're lead blast, you're talking about how they're consuming too much. And if you're lead consume, you're talking about how they're controlling. Like, really? Anybody want to get off this train with me? Anybody want to be like, all right, tap out, I'm done. No. I'm not going to be an observer ranting about the fucking government anymore. I'm not going to be a decider and complaining that they're fucking mean to me anymore. I've had enough.
But see, this is the disparity. You know, like there's the germ theory and there's the terrain theory. Right?
We've discussed this many times.
Well, you and I have, but we haven't discussed
You're
it.
right.
So
people should know about that.
The germ theory, which was kind of foisted on the public by a gentleman named Louis Pasteur.
He's a
He
bad
basically
guy.
stole every good idea he never had from another guy named Antoine Béchamp. Béchamp believed in the terrain theory.
There we go.
And Pasteur believed in the germ theory, right?
Can I just lay one bit of pipe here?
Yeah.
The germ theory, some people are going to think that means that they don't believe in germs. It's not that we don't believe it. The germs are real. We believe in germs are real. We just believe.
Well, okay.
Right.
But the germ theory is that, like, there's some, you know, Pasteur proclaimed that he knew this 1878 before the French Academy of Science. He says, I know that every disease comes from these microbes that float through the air and just like land on your food or in your eyeball or something. The next thing you know, you're sick and maybe you die.
So the ENFP guy is trying to do the DE. He's like, hey, you're going to sound crazy. The tribe is going to think that you're not believing in germs. I actually looked up what he's talking about, the terrain theory versus germ theory. And sure, it's really great. It's great common sense. It's just kind of like the medical science today is kind of like, here, take more vaccines, take more medicine. They're not ever dealing with, hey, take care of your body. Take care of your health. Have better food. Make your system more healthy. And the system will push away and fight away the germs, right? So it's really great. It's really great. It's all very true. It's a much better way. Like, in your personal life, you'd want to do much more of what he's talking about. You want to take care of your body and not worry about big pharma, not worry about the government coming to save you, not getting pumped full of fucking vaccines that they fucking made. Like, sure, why not? But the thing, Woody, is that what I am seeing myself, this is just my own opinion and observations over time, and being a fellow observer, being an INTJ, that used to talk exactly like this, freak out exactly like this, had these same kind of fucking theories. God, if I was 25 today, I'd be so fucked. If I didn't know this opcode, like this shit has saved my life. Like Woody's crazy. I was way worse. When you go back and find old videos of me in my 20s, like, I was way worse. I had it as high as I would not be here at 45. I would be a fucking mess, man. I was going full throttle off the conspiracy cliff. So fucking hard, so fucking bad. So I have the right to. If you're an observer and you talk conspiracy talk, I'm coming after you full fucking force, because I was way worse than you. And I know if you go down that road, even though, motherfucker, here's what screws everybody up, even though you're probably right. It probably really is aliens. Yeah, the Chinese really are up to something. You gotta watch out those Chinese, man. They're up to something, right? The big pharma, you're probably right. But you gotta look at things in double observing. Okay, yes, your theories are kind of right. Yes, it's true. And yes, you can find all these censor examples out of context where this happened. But you got to go, okay, the world is still moving. Okay, it's going to be 100 years from now. It was 100 years ago. You ever find like old tapes from like the 1930s with like Napoleon Hill and all that shit? It's like you're listening to Tony Robbins. You're like, this is the same shit. And they're all like, the world's going to end 1930. The world's going to end 1940. The big pharma 1950. Like, what is this? And I like to show this to my parents. They're like, oh yeah, that's how it was when we were in college. It's the same shit. I'm like, this is not special. Like, we all go through this and then as you get older, you start to see, oh, it's this, I swear to God, the world's going to end. You got to listen to my savior's rack of shit. And then finally, as you get older, you're like, okay, this is a rack of shit. The world is still going to spiral up with all of its bumps and all of its problems and all of its stuff. And even if/when there is, that's then what's called a war. It'll work itself out. These conspiracies, these over collections of power, these governments, these corporations that do bad things that are kind of true, they do get so intense that there is a counterbalance. There will be a war. There will be a clean out. There'll be a justice. There'll be a changing of the energy. There'll be a competition that what happens when Big Pharma gets too bad and evil and diabolical, you have Mark fucking Cuban, the good guy, going, you know what, here it is for 75 cents. Here you have somebody coming on going, here, I'll fucking help everybody out. And the energy drains out and it flows the other way until Mark Cuban becomes the bad guy in 20 years.
Now, this is the backbone of Western medicine, right? Including what is the culmination of vaccination.
Yeah, virus is more with vaccines, but yeah,
Well,
can be both.
Germ is a virus, right? Same thing.
A germ, well, no, they're two different organisms. Germs.
No, they aren't. A germ is just a broader term, which viruses, microbes, pathogens.
Bacteria and viruses.
And bacteria, it all falls under
I'm a
the heading
masculine
of germ,
observer.
But they're
right?
two. But it's like an antelope and a kitten. I mean, a germ is not a virus. I mean, a bacteria is not a virus. But it's important. Bacteria is not a virus, is it? There's two different organisms.
And I go along.
No, but they're all germs. Germs is just the broader term. It's the umbrella term for all of these things, all of these specific things.
I think of germs as bacteria.
Like
pathogens, I think, is the broader term for a virus.
Right, but I'm saying those are all under the umbrella of germs. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, people are going to think we've been smoking pot.
Well, we haven't.
Even crazy people won't listen to other crazy people.